What's going on, folks? We are live and in effect. We are in the building. My name is JV Wins. That, of course, is Dogon SS. Appreciate everybody for tuning in to the Conscious Approach channel on YouTube. We certainly appreciate the support. Thanks to all of the new subscribers who have joined us along this crazy journey. And thanks in advance to any of the new subs who happen to catch wind of what we like to do here on our little corner of the YouTube, Google, internet. Go ahead and hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. If you have not already done so, if you like the commentary in this or in any of the other videos that we publish to this channel, this is a labor of love, folks. We just like kicking the tires and lighting the fires.
You know what I'm saying?
As Jimmy used to say in Independence Day, that's a reference to any late 80s babies who may be familiar with that line from that movie. But I digress, yo. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit the like button. Let us know what you think about the commentary in this or any other video. Got a few interesting topics to talk about tonight. Interested to hear the community's thoughts on this, as well as Dogon's thoughts on these various topics, of course. First, we are going to get started talking about everyone's favorite adult film star reformed, Mia Khalifa.
I don't know who that is.
She spent a decent amount of time back in the mid 2000s, somewhere around there, being like the most searched personality in adult content. Yeah. Yeah. I'm not really sure what her appeal was, but she was just trending that much that she became a talking point, not just in that area, if you follow that kind of stuff, but also like in the mainstream as well. So she gets talked about a lot because she was doing that stuff, and then she realized she was degrading herself. She got out of it. She got out of it. She complained about the industry, how she was taken advantage of, how she didn't really make that much money despite the limited amount of films, if that's the word you want to use, she was in. And then she called herself trying to be a sports media person.
I remember.
Yeah. She tried to start her sports podcasting career. And of course, when you come from that walk of life, you kind of live in infamy and people don't let you live it down. And so I would say she has spent the vast majority of her post-adult film career trying to reform her image and get people to forget about the fact that she used to do this stuff and to think of her now as this internet social media relationship. She tries to be a relationship advice person. Like I said, she tries to talk sports and she wants to be looked upon in that light. So that's kind of the brief history of this female. And she recently, like last year, she went viral because she made comments about how joining the army is worse than being on Onlyfans, because when you join the army, you're selling your body to the government. Whereas when you're on OnlyFans, you might think of it in a funny kind of way, but at least in OnlyFans, you have your own agency. Whereas with the army, it's actually worse because you are selling your body to the government. This is what she said. And at the time she got castigated for it, she went away, as she usually does. From time to time, she'll say weird things, get called out, then she'll disappear. Then she'll sort of rise from the ashes like the phoenix to say the next dumb thing. And so a lot of people, and so for whatever reason, this content is resurfacing and going viral again for whatever reason. And so it's gotten a lot of people talking about this and wanting her to get quote unquote canceled for these comments. But we'll go ahead and show you what she said first, and then we'll give our 2 cents on this. So this article says Mia Khalifa's army comments resurface amid cancel calls. Mia Khalifa has stirred up debate on social media after reposting her. Also, based upon what this article is saying, she reposted this. So that's the reason why it's resurfacing, because she herself reposted this based upon the way that this article is written. So it says Mia Khalifa has stirred up debate on social media after reposting her year-old comments in which she said that being in the army is worse than OnlyFans. The content sharing platform allows creators to upload any kind of content like photography, creative writing, or recipes, but is also used by sex workers to produce adult films.
Yeah.
Former adult film star Khalifa spoke about the platform during an appearance on late night talk show Ziwi. Someone, correct me on that pronunciation. I'm probably getting that wrong. Ziwi back in July 2022 when she said that she thought that using it was better than selling your body to the government by serving in the military. So we have OnlyFans, and then we have the sex work industry, and then we have like actors, said titular host Ziwi Fumudo. Is there a difference between these industries, or are we all fundamentally selling our bodies in some way? Honestly, I think that selling your body, like if we are going by that definition, being in the army is worse than being on OnlyFans. Khalifa responded, "You're selling your body to the government." More than a year after her comments went viral, Khalifa brought the conversation back to the fore when she shared a TikTok post on X, formerly Twitter, on Veterans Day, which fell on Saturday. The clip
Wow.
showed Khalifa making her statement before it cut to a shot of a major sitting in a vehicle looking perturbed. So I'll go ahead and end the share of this, and then we will go ahead and play what she said. But of course, first I'm going to, go directly to Twitter because, as previous experience has taught us, screen sharing with Twitter embedded videos just doesn't seem to be the best way for us to go about sharing videos that are posted to Twitter. So and this is a very short video, mind you. So, it's not very long, but this was the video, this was the clip that went viral on social, which of course began with what she had to say about OnlyFans and serving in the military.
Being in the army is worse than being on OnlyFans. Wow. You're selling your body to the government.
He looked like Consequence.
Being in the army is worse than being on OnlyFans. Wow. You're selling your body to the government.
Yep. And I just wanted to play it one more time because it is very fast.
Yeah.
And she's, of course, not famous enough or important enough for there to be ample clips of the interview in long form available on the internet. Although I'm pretty sure if you could search for it long enough, you'll find it. But this is what she had to say. And this chick is like unapologetically who she is, very much Brittany Renner like, in that she just doesn't seem to care, or she feels as though it's redeeming to be so proudly sort of enveloped in this. You get cool points because she's not going to back down off of her rhetoric, even though a lot of people seem to disagree with it. But yeah, it brings in a whole, can of worms with the military and the government and the equation of that with being on OnlyFans. So this woman here, Mia Khalifa, believes being on OnlyFans is better than being in the government because you're selling your body, than being in the army or the military, because she believes it means you are selling your body to the government. Do you think she has a point?
That's a tough question to ask. I don't know what to make of her argument there. I mean, yeah, I guess. I mean, I wouldn't tell anybody that. I mean, I know we need defense, and kudos to all of my veterans out there. But me personally, that's just like another version of going to jail. Oh, there you go, cancel this guy. I'm just saying, it's just, you're selling yourself to the state. So, it's just a thing where to me, it's a little dicey. I wouldn't recommend it. So with that being said, I would argue for different lifestyles that it's better off for some people, a lot of people, if they look at the military the same way that I do. And so my point, the thing about this that's weird is, I mean, I didn't see that interview. Maybe they were talking about it. I mean, hell, it's pulled hella out of context. It's only like 3 seconds long, but a lot of this seems unprovoked. I don't know. This seems to be a thought process in her mind that she is really on. And she feels as though that, yeah, just doing what she does is better than being in the military. So why she feel compelled to bring that up? Why make that analogy? I don't know. But it feels a little Brittany Renner-ish, like you said. I agree with that point where that's her shtick, where she gets off with doubling down apparently and just being a badass. I don't give a damn. I'll say whatever. You can't cancel me. So yeah, with that kind of energy, and mind you, man, she was an adult star, and so being in an adult industry like that, and being a performer, it's kind of wild. The thought process, I would argue, for many of those people. Now I'm being lenient now, but many of those people in that industry, I would argue, have a very unique perspective on the rest of the world. So Mia Khalifa, no different here. I just find it wild for her to poke at vets. But it might be something where it comes to like some type of allegiance of countries type of stuff, because I do know she has opinions about what's going on in the Middle East. So it might be a thing where she doesn't even have allegiance to the United States in the first place. It might be just a F America thing, but she's in America effing, you know what I'm saying? And so it might be one of those things where she just already has a chip on her shoulder with the military. That's the only reason why I can think is she could bring it up, so often, and trying to drill that in people's heads. Because honestly, I don't think anybody was trying to equate those two outside of her. So what are your thoughts about Mia Khalifa and her doubling down, apparently, saying that it's better to be an OnlyFans starter than to be a military gunner?
I don't really think serving in the military is the worst thing in the world. It depends on how you think about it. If you're thinking about it in terms of a career path and not because you love America and want to proudly, and mind you, I don't want to insult people. I don't want to insult the idea. No, seriously. I don't want to come across as dismissive towards the notion that one can feel a certain type of patriotism. If you feel that type of way about your country and you want to serve in the military, I'm not going to disrespect that. I won't do that. So people who serve in the military because they feel that way about patriotism, that's cool. But I also think that serving in the military can be quite constructive. You put in 10, 15, 20 years, you go career, you're coming out of it on the other side, with some pretty good benefits for the rest of your life. And so, constructively speaking, I don't think that it's the worst thing in the world to opt into, even if you're not thinking about it along those patriotic lines. But for her to say this, you have to understand her past. And if you understand her past, it can inform you on where these comments are coming from. I don't think it has anything to do with the military, the government, or being anti or pro-American. I think this comes from her desire to sort of continue to throw water over the gasoline lit fire of her past, because it continuously comes back to haunt her and she wants to get rid of it.
Mm-hmm.
She's a former sex worker. She's a former porn star, right? And like I said before, she got out of the game and she tried to pivot to hosting sports podcasts and doing relationship podcasts. The problem is no one wants to let her live. No one wants to, like, allow her to move past the fact that she used to do these movies. They keep bringing it up and keep bringing it up and keep bringing it up. And it's a sore spot for her. So what is one way to attempt to try and alleviate that and make it better for herself? Well, she can sort of backhandedly paint the narrative that there are worse things in the world to do than being an actual sex worker. And what is, in her opinion, because she was teed up the question, what is one of those things that in her opinion is actually worse than being a sex worker, which she is into perpetuity embarrassed by and is constantly reminded of serving in the military. And in my opinion, the weak analogy that you're selling your body to the government, to me it doesn't fly, because like I said, on the back end of serving in the military, you come out of it pretty set for life. Now, granted, that is assuming that you can determine that the price that you paid for your service was worth it in terms of physical costs and mental costs.
Right.
But assuming that it was, and that you come out of it relatively unscathed, I don't see it being worse than being a sex worker. But here's the thing with people like her. She, very much like a lot of these other people who we talk about whenever we broach these kinds of topics up, whenever we bring these kinds of topics up on this channel, she wants to live in a world in which being a sex worker does not come with maintaining a scarlet letter for the rest of your life. Right now, we are still living in a society where, even though it's changing, unfortunately, if that was what you did for a living to a certain extent, or if that was your past, it comes along with a few red flags and a few rolled eyes, doing that kind of stuff, being a sex worker. Now, like I have said many times on this channel when we have discussed other topics, we are slowly but surely inching towards living in a society in which we view sex work as just a job, a profession, whatever. It holds the same amount of credibility, esteem, sophisticatedness, whatever word you want to use, as any other profession. We want to deconstruct the way that we have always thought about that kind of stuff, so that we just kind of look at it in the liberal sense of it's not really a big deal. Who cares if she used to, do those kinds of movies? It is what it is. If we were living in that world currently, it would benefit her, because she'd be able to go on to being a sportscaster or a relationship podcaster without having to deal with people constantly bringing up the fact that she used to do those movies.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of feel like this for her is another roundabout attempt to try and take the air out of the argument that she shouldn't be paid attention to because she used to do those kinds of flicks, because she used to do that kind of work, because she used to do those kinds of movies. That's the only reason why she talks like this. Like every like once a year or so, she finds herself publicly trying to figure out a clever way to make people understand and be sympathetic towards the fact that she used to do adult films, because people don't want to let her live it down. In my opinion, nor should they. You made that choice. It is what it is. You want to say you got bamboozled at this point? Hey, man, you did it. You did the handful of movies. You got swindled. You didn't make your money. Yeah, America is the land of second chances, so to speak, but people are going to bring that stuff up for now. Maybe in 10, 15 years when prostitution is legal, which is a prediction that I have made before and I stand by, people won't care as much. But for now, people are still going to bring that up, because that's just one of those things where if that's what you did for an extended period of time, depending on what your next career path is or whatever it is that you're trying to get into, people aren't going to extend you that benefit of the doubt. They're going to be like, this chick used to be getting bust down in front of a camera for money all day, every day. And so I think that this is her attempt to try and take some of the air out of the balloon on that, because she's tired, I would imagine, of dealing with the fact that every time she wants to try something, she's hit with the stigma of being a former adult film star. So really, to me, this has nothing to do with any of her philosophies on government, military, Americanism, I don't think it has anything to do with that. I think that this is another veiled attempt on her part to sort of administer a Jedi mind trick to get people to stop thinking about the fact that she used to do these movies. And she feels as though a good way to attempt to do that is to make it seem like there are worse things in the world than what she used to do. And I guess in her mind, she was able to make a connection between one of those worst things in the world to do being serving in the military or the armed forces. I don't buy it. I think that it's personally, I think that that's BS. Um, but this is what happens when you are trying to deconstruct everything. And she's just another one of these legions of people who are on the front lines trying to deconstruct the way that we think about certain things, one of those being sex work. Will it work at the end of the day for her? I don't think so. I think the ship has sailed on her. She's going to have to live with this come hell or high water. But I do think that that is what she is trying to do.
I mean, yeah, I think it's all in her own mind because that damn sure ain't fooling me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I guess it's part of. If so, it might be part of the psychosis of that. That she thinks that this will help the cause, and it doesn't. And so, yeah, I mean, yeah, it's clearly a bad. That's what I'm saying. It's clearly a bad thing to compare to. You just don't go around doing that. Now, military stuff to me, honestly, is like religion, like a religious topic. It's like, hey, it's each their own. There's people that's very passionate about patriotism, being in the military, the veterans. So, that's not something you go around playing with. And so for her to do that on Veterans Day or whatever, it's like, come on, man, like, what's that about? And so that's why I was thinking it was just more or less an angle of, just her wanting to be viral or just attention. Like most
She wants that too. She wants
Yeah.
that too. It's all of the above because she is
Yeah.
certainly an attention seeker by easily. Yeah.
Yeah. So this situation here, cancel culture reaching adult film stars. I gotta say that she'll be one of the first to breach that category. I'm pretty sure there's others, but I guess in this new generation of adult film stars. But I think it's all in vain. She will forever remain online somewhere. They can try to purge the internet. People still got them in hard drives.
Yes.
I mean, one thing about adult content, I knew somebody that was trying to launch a legitimate website back in the early 90s. Man, not early 90s, in the early 2000s. A legitimate website, a legitimate message board where people were just coming around and talking on some regular stuff. You couldn't stop. Then this wasn't bots. This was humans coming in flooding the room with adult content. It got to it was so pervasive. It was like, why are you choosing this message board? Just go somewhere else with this weird stuff. And they were just doing it anyway. So my thing is that there's people that have these things so they can try purging the internet if they want. It'll be back online later on that afternoon. It's like those things in movies. You cut it and it just multiplies and they just both start running. You're not going to get that stuff off. So, and that's generally the path of most adult film stars. Back in my day when I was watching too much, I was still in a space where I was like, oh man, she stopped doing stuff. Hey, what's going? Wait, where that? Where's she gone? I guess she came to her senses. I guess she came to. They all come to their senses at some point. They get their run. They get ran through, and then they go, hey, this is not it. And then they end up leaving. So her career was honestly no different in that regard. But the part that was different was the fact that she was like actually going viral for just being her. And for what reasons, who knows? But with all that stuff aside, it's not like she's really going to get canceled. I mean, who's going to care about this? I mean, I'm sure veterans are mad. Even that dude that looked like Consequence that was sitting in his Humvee was taken aback by that. But he'll still turn on whatever website and grab the lotion. So people aren't really going to be mad at Mia Khalifa. Let's be honest. There's all the people that really are like the guys aren't really going to be mad at her. Yeah, I mean, women will probably be mad. But the guys, they'll be like, come on, get out of here with your dumb takes. And they'll be right back at it if they were a fan. And if they weren't a fan, they'll probably go searching her stuff now. So the point is, she's not gonna get canceled. This is all about a bunch of hoopla, and she knows that for the most part. And that's why she's digging into it and leaning into it. And so have this and put this in your rumor mills. So that's how these people operate, and that's paychecks for them. So
yeah. I agree. I agree 100% with all of that. She doesn't move the needle enough. She's not nearly important enough to actually get canceled. Because in order to get canceled, you have to have some sort of impact on the culture that is of a particular substantiation. She lacks that. She was just some random chick who had her 30 minutes of fame getting bust down in a few movies on the internet like 10 years ago. Other than that, she was more known for showing up at college football games wearing almost nothing, and then trying to parlay that into being a sports commentator on the internet on podcasts. To which, the response is, who the hell cares what her opinion on sports is? So she just doesn't move the needle enough. But I do think that the observation that one can surmise from this type of stuff is this is another indication of how there is a significant element within, I would say Western culture, of an attempt to try and deconstruct how we think about things like sex work. So she's an agent of this cause. She's one of these. She's an agent of one of these causes, because said deconstruction would only benefit her, because she wants to move past it. She just knows she can't. So let me try to figure out ways to make it seem as though what I was doing isn't really a big deal. It's not, man. Have you ever thought about this? Think about it, man. Think about it, man. In the military, man, you selling your body to the feds, man. That's worse than anything I ever did. Like, she sounds like one of those street philosophers on the corner who gonna kick that game to you, but then ask you for $5 at the end of the speech.
All right.
So that they can go bump a cigarette or a Colt 45 or something that they need to get them through the night. She sounds like a slick oil salesman. And that's the thing about it, is you just have to ignore these agents. We should not ever live in a world where we are so desensitized to the idea of sex work that we can just view it as a regular job. I'm sorry, but that is never a world that we should live in. I don't give a damn what anybody thinks about this stuff. I don't give a shit how liberal you are. That is not a world that we need to be living in. And people like her are an agent towards this kind of stuff because they know they messed up. They know they can't reconcile it. So how can they fix it? Or they can just come up with all of these weird analogous ways to make us think that there's worse things. It's not going to fly. I think it's a weak attempt. She needs to go sit her ass down somewhere, because I don't think it's going to fly. But I do get where I do not get where she's coming from, but I know what she was trying to do. I definitely know what she was trying to do.
Yeah, we peep gang.
Yeah.
Right,
shouts out to Rock Major, member of the community. Came in the chat. He said, "Yes, sir. The best YouTube. Always deliver hot topics." Appreciate that, bro.
Yeah. Appreciate it.
But yeah, shouts out to former viral adult film chick Mia Khalifa. Good luck with that. I hope you figure out the best way to get people to respect you someday. But I don't think it's gonna happen today, man. I'm sorry.
Nah, she gonna go back.
Yeah, she should. To be honest with you, that's probably her best option.
Bro, they always go back to the streets. They can't help it.
She probably should go. Like, realistically, she should go back. If I was advising her, I'd tell her to go back.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Good luck, ma'am.
Good luck.
Okay, this should be fun. So we got Shannon Sharpe and Monique. Monique joined Shannon Sharpe on his Club Shay Shay show. The Katt Williams thing really left such a lasting impression for me that now I feel like everybody who subsequently comes on this is trying to do their best Katt Williams.
That's what it's looking like.
You're gonna have everybody who comes onto this show who wants to be fiery and hot takey and expose stuff and expose people and talk about people. And it's like, listen, just do you. Stop trying to be Katt. You ain't finna get them 50 million views. You're not gonna be able to recreate that lightning in the bottle. But Monique was recently on Club Shay Shay, and they talked about a variety of topics. And the thing that caught my interest was Monique telling Shannon Sharpe that he needs to stop trying to date younger women. He needs to get him an older woman and stop chasing around these young women. So we'll go ahead and play this clip here of Monique scolding Shannon Sharpe on why he needs to stop messing around with these younger women, and then we will give our 2 cents on this afterwards.
This dating thing, because it's Mo is different now than when you and I.
It's different, baby. I'm grateful I'm not 56 and trying.
Are you trying to say what you trying to say? Mo?
I'm looking right at you.
I know you looking at me.
I ain't backing down. You better take your old ass and get somebody to love you.
Damn, Mo.
Now I'm looking right at y'all. Let me tell y'all what Shannon needs. Okay? Let me tell you what my baby needs. He need him an old fat gal who can bake good cakes, make some smothered turkey wings, who gonna rub his feet at the nighttime, okay, and gonna have a sip of his cognac to make him feel better about himself when he come home at night. That's what Shannon needs. You don't need no 26-year-old girl. You don't need no 36-year-old girl. This is your auntie talking to you. Take your old ass and get you an old bitch out there that can love you old. You're trying to hang out with these young bitches and you can't do it, Shannon. You just can't do it. Dang. When they want you to go for the 4th round, you looking at her like, bitch, listen, I need more money to go to stop because I can't go no further. But if you get your older girl, when you get to that 4th round, she's going to say, hold on. Let me go get you some eggs and cheese and some toast with apple butter because that's going to get your energy back up. I'm talking right to you. Shit. So he thought I was going to be scared. Yes, I'm talking. And I know an old gal, she'd be good to you. Her name is Elladora. Now, when you know somebody named Elladora, she's old school. Mm-hmm. Now, Miss Elladora told me to tell you. She said, I think he like red velvet.
Oh, I do.
I say, Miss Elladora, if he do like that, she said, you let him know I got something for him.
Yeah, I like
and she don't have no teeth. Come on, pick your glass up and clack. Come on now. These young gals will bite you. Okay?
Yeah. Okay, I guess I got to come on home.
Come on.
Hey. All right.
Yo, Shannon's ad libs are hilarious.
They are.
I don't know if anyone ever pays attention to interview ad libs, but he is hilarious with his voice and the way he ad libs when people answer his questions. But yeah, so Monique, man, she's a comedian, so she was doing it in a joking tone, but I think that there was some seriousness to her advice, if that's what she wants to call it, to Shay Shay there. What did you make of what Monique had to advise Shannon on there? That he stay away from these young women, man. Get you an old Elladora. What you think about that?
Man, I don't know. I was agreeing with all of that. It was there was a truth to that was just getting laid into him because I mean, she hit all the points, man, to be honest. I think the stuff that he wants the firm, the tight, you know what I'm saying? Like he want that. The ones that want to be put on game, the ones that want to learn, that want to go somewhere never been, like he on that. That's what he into. That's why when she was saying all that stuff, he do not want no Eleanor. He don't want no Eleanor. He don't want no Bethel or anything else. Anne-Marie's. He don't want that. So he's in the game now. If anybody watches Nightcap around here, I catch segments. So him and Ocho, they be talking about dating and stuff, and Ocho a wild boy. That boy on another level. He'll say the most outrageous things. But then Shannon be right there with the kind of stuff that he's talking about. It's young people problems, and he talking about just like how he proposed the question. like the market's wild. It is a wild market, Shannon. But the thing is, her point is, how do you know? How do you know it's a wild market? And by now, you should be out of the market. So, because right now the market is just on another level. I mean, it is evolving. Like I can't even put into words how disgusting it is. It's filthy. So, I wouldn't eat off the surface of that. So, nah, man. So it's a wild game right now. I agree with Shannon, but I also agree with Monique in the aspect of just in the sense of get out the game. Now, at what age or whatever, who knows? But at some point, if you're really serious about the search, he's in a position financially everywhere for him to just rope that off and then, whatever, if he was actually serious about a real serious situation. But if he's just doing the generic dating, inboxes and DMs, whoop-de-whoop, living like a football player still, then nah, bro, you're going to have the same type of stories. And I heard some of Shannon's stories, some of his early stories and some of his later ones. They messy, they messy. Yeah. So I don't know what kind of style he into, but when you on that yak, like how he like to sip, you always make drunk decisions. Last thing I'll say, I had gotten really sober probably about 4 years ago. Now I would like after work, I'll sip, I'll whatever. I'll go out on weekends, go hard, but throughout the week I'll sip. And what I mean by sip is literally like one drink, like, and it's not even like hard. It's just a drink for a buzz after work. And but then like 4 years ago, bro, I just stopped drinking. And then probably, some months down the line, I was like, I was making a lot of drunk decisions. I was making a lot of drunk decisions for a lot of years. So I bring that point up to say this is that Unk and Shay Shay, whatever you want to call him, he lives a fast life. He is on the go. And he be sipping. I know he be sipping. I know he used to be sipping before all of his shows. He was already turned up on that Henny. So so he just comes off as a person that just lives fast and never stopped. So I agree with the advice. I think he needs to slow down. The age thing, that's a to each their own. Honestly, me personally, I can't deal with people that don't know the same movies as me. Music, like I cannot deal with that. Like it'd be sometimes I'm having a conversation, bro, and then it'd be like, oh, you know who Escape is, right? No, I don't know who Escape. How do you not know who Escape is? Totally.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And so all of that. And so, man, that's 95, 96. So, and if you don't have that reference, you don't have a reference of anything. So for me personally, I like to reference things. I like people who've been around, seen these things too, a cassette player. And but yeah, so for Shannon to be out here dibbling and dabbling, boy, I don't know. I feel like he's already out the loop when it comes to actually like being in the game. But what are your thoughts on Monique grilling Shay Shay here, saying that you need to get a girl more your age and stop dealing with these young women?
So Shannon Sharpe is 55 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And based upon the limited research that I did, I could not find whether he I don't think he's ever been married, right? Because that would be public knowledge. So I don't think he's ever been I don't think he's ever been married. And he does have kids. But he's never been, let me see. Yeah, Shannon is never wed. He was engaged to fitness trainer Katie Kellner in 2016, but that broke off and she married Luis Castillo. But he has two daughters and one son. So he has kids, but he has never been married. He's 55. Monique was going at Shannon from the standpoint of age.
Right, right.
You're 55. And you're still doing this stuff,
right?
So as in, if he was our age, maybe she wouldn't be as critical. But you're 55 and you're still out in the streets, despite the fact that you pay lip service to the idea of no longer being in the streets. Okay, here's the reason why you're still in the streets, despite the fact that you claim to not want to be in the streets anymore at your advanced age. Stop getting with these young girls. You need to find you an older woman. 55 is quite the advanced age. I will say this though, and this is where I'm gonna come. It's not really to Shannon Sharpe's defense. It's more of I think I get it. I think I understand. And I'm going to speak, I'm going to personalize it. I'm going to
Okay.
personalize it because it's the only way that I can think about something like this, right?
All right.
So, you know, our friend group, right, has told me on multiple occasions throughout the decades of our friendship that my physical standards are a bit lofty.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I've heard that. I have heard that several times. My standards are a bit too high when it comes to the physical stuff. And so there were times when I kind of introspectively sat down and I thought about this. Like, is that true? And if so, why? Why do I look at stuff this way and everyone else seems to be looking at it a different way? Like, what's the deal?
Mhm.
And I kind of sat down and I thought about it, and I realized, like, I think I impressed this upon myself. So if you look at Shannon Sharpe, right? Shannon Sharpe is a gym rat. The
Mhm.
guy keeps himself, he's 55, but his body's probably like 35, at least outwardly. The guy keeps himself in shape. I don't know if he does protein. I don't know what he intakes, but I do know he gets the results because the dude is jacked. He spends an ample amount of time in the gym. He takes care of himself. He works out. He adheres to fitness. It's a huge part of his identity. It's a huge part of his life. I would say his gym regimen is probably second, and it's a very close second to his media career. Like, all you got, just Google Shannon Sharpe workout, clothes, shirt off. Like, the dude is just jacked up. He's just jacked. Okay. The reason why I bring that up is because I don't, and the reason why I'm personalizing it, I don't look nearly like Shannon Sharpe. I don't. But I pride myself on keeping myself in shape. And the only way that you can keep yourself in shape like that is by being in that atmosphere, being in the gym, doing this workout stuff on a regular basis, often. The thing that molded my mind to my physical preferences, I believe, and I think it's the same thing that's molding Shannon's mind to his physical preferences.
Mhm.
When you spend so much time around in shape, hard body women who these Shannon Sharpe is constantly around what in the gym context, as I am, and I don't even do, like, I don't have access to the same gym equipment, resources. The type of gym that he probably goes to is probably one where you got to spend $1,000 a month on membership fees. I'm just guessing. I'm just guessing, right?
Right.
So I'm extrapolating my experiences juxtaposed to his.
Mhm.
Me spending so many years in this environment has sort of informed me on my physical preferences. What happened to me, I think, is I spent so many years in the gym around women who are always in shape, who have the perfect hips to ass ratio, who have the perfect, like, waist to hip ratio, who diet and exercise and work out all the time, and they have the ass sitting on them that's real, that's not a BBL.
Ah.
When you spend so much time around this and you're looking at that constantly, it's going to impose this idea upon you that that's what you want because you're in that environment so much. So, me personally, I believe that the reason why Shannon Sharpe is 55 and he's still out in the streets doing this stuff is because he spent so much time as a guy glued to the bench press that he can't seem to figure out a way to separate his physical preferences from what is probably most, I would say, constructive in terms of being able to get out the game. And, I'm not trying to cast aspersions on people who work out or who don't, but older people in general work out less than younger people. Shannon Sharpe's into women. He's into working out. It's a big part of his identity. So younger women are in the gym more than older women. Younger women are staying in shape more frequently than older women. You do have older women that like to be in the gym and stay in shape, but by and large, the vast majority of women who work out are younger. Shannon Sharpe probably likes women who work out. And he probably sees that most of the women who work out aren't 55. They're not even 45. They're 25 and 35. So I really do believe it's simple as that. I think that if you remove the gym from Shannon Sharpe's identity, this is less of an issue. I think that this is a part of his, it's probably a compounded combination between his background being a pro athlete and currently what his career is. So he does live a bit of a fast lifestyle. I would agree with that.
Mhm.
But I don't live a fast lifestyle. I live quite the opposite of a fast lifestyle. My lifestyle is probably somewhere between, if we're going to equate it to the speed limit, and the speed limit is 70 miles an hour, my lifestyle currently is probably like 70 miles an hour. Shannon is probably at 95, 100 miles an hour.
Yeah,
but even with me being at 70 miles an hour, a good chunk of those 70 miles an hour is the mileage that I am accumulating driving to and from my gym. And that has my mind thinking of all different types of physical preferences that I'm into. And those physical preferences that I have are most tethered to younger women than older women. And so I'm personalizing this because there's a future possibility in which I see myself being 40 plus, still holding on to this thing that I have conjured for myself as a direct result of the fact that I spend probably too much time in those environments and not in the real world where body types and physical standards run a gamut. It's not just in the gym. It's what I'm saying. In the gym, you can go to the gym on any given day, and there's nothing in the gym in terms of women, but 8s are better. Now that's not the real world. In the real world, you got 5s, you got 6s, you got 7s. But in the pocket universe of the gym, you can go on any given day, depending on the time, and there's nothing in the gym but 8s are better. Obviously, that's not a realistic interpretation of the way that the world actually operates. So I think that there's a good and bad that comes along with this strict adherence to exercise and fitness. The good is health, wellness. Obviously, you're keeping yourself in shape. You can mold and sculpt your body the way that you want it to look. The downside potentially is you can create an unrealistic view of physical preferences and standards based upon whatever your orientations are. So I know that was a bit of a long-winded explanation in terms of how I see it, but I think that really is what's going on here. I think part of why Shannon is dealing with this stuff, and he talks about this a lot, whether it's Nightcap or whether his own show, he brings up dating often. And I think the reason why he brings this stuff up is because he's searching for answers. I don't think in his heart of heart he would ideally want to be 55 still in the streets. I don't think, because otherwise why talk about it as much? Like if you're happy being 55 and you still in the streets, why would you feel the need to bring it up on your shows? Just keep it to yourself. I think people are being honest even when they are not telling you they're being honest. And I think for him bringing it up as often as he brings it up is strictly due to the fact that I think deep down he would like to try and solve that Rubik's Cube for himself so that he can not be 55 still dealing with this.
Good luck.
But I feel like he has developed a complex about physical preferences as a result of his many years being in the gym all day every day. That's really what I think. I think it's a complex. And the reason why I think that is because to a certain extent, I've developed that own complex. I've developed that complex myself to a certain extent. So I get it. I genuinely do think that that's where he's coming from. I hope he figures it out. I really do, because, at least he's gotten his kids out of the way. He ain't like me. I don't have no kids, and I'm still trying to make sure that I'm fertile and viral as I continue as I continue to advance in age. At least he's 55 and he has his 3 kids, so he doesn't have to deal with that part. But if he really wants to get out of the streets, he's going to have to figure out how to get over that complex. And I really do think that it's a complex, because put it this way: if it was normal to see tight-bodied, in shape, good-looking, physically fit women over the age of 45 and 50 in the gym on a regular basis, with the pretty face and all of that to match, I don't think Shannon Sharpe would be experiencing this much difficulty. That's my personal opinion. But that is not as prevalent, because I think the majority of the women who fit that description lean younger. Are there exceptions? Sure. But the general rule is women who fit that description do lean younger. And I think he's dealing with that complex. He doesn't know how to fix it. And so as a result, he's 55 and he's still in the streets. And he's got Monique trying to coach him out of it.
Well, my thing is I hear that. And by the way, I never thought of that angle. And just a FYI, everybody, confirmed. Now this is our friend group. We were saying this in our friend group, but then there was a third party friend group that I met, and then I was like, oh, so y'all see this too? We thought it was just us. Like, nah, bro, standards out of there. So me personally, I'll take a little sag. I ain't opposed to that, bro. I'll take a little. I ain't mad at it, man. My thing is, I love the body of a woman. So I see the beauty in a lot of things. So even if it's not like, what I'm saying, pristine. Now I get what you're saying, because you see it every day. Now when you see it every day and it's like, hey man, I can get something like that.
That's what I think it is. I think it's the frequency, because I go 5 days a week, and it's I think that personally, I think that it has corrupted me to a certain extent. Mm-hmm. I think it corrupts all guys who do this. I really do. I do. And good luck. I think that's where Shannon's coming from. I think it's corrupted him, and that's the only way to explain this thing. 55. I just think that he's been corrupted by it.
So I'll add that in the pot. So I'm kind of already, because I didn't see that angle, but we can say that that's in there, in the DNA of what this is. I'm sure that plays a role in it. But the thing is, what Shannon is, man, he is 55, bro. And even with me slipping and falling and bumping my head, with this dating thing and being out here or whatever, he still got me by almost 20 something years. So how are you not learning? And the way he talks about it on these platforms, like I said, it'd be messy. And he be telling these stories where it sounds like he be dealing with DM sliding girls.
Yeah.
He's sliding in DM. He a DM slider. It's Shay Shay. Pop that ass. And then they come through and they put a bill on the table, and he's surprised and shocked. What part of the game is this? It's like, nah, bro. This is the who we had covered before.
Irv Gotti. Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. I feel like he brought in that I'm an athlete. I'm out here. I've always been this dude. I've always been that dude when it came to these ladies, at least from his stories from him telling high school and college, and he was just, that dude. So he never grew out. Some people you go, hey man, there's like me, us. I mean, I'll speak for myself. Being a big time club goer, just could not. I wanted to stop, couldn't see myself doing it anytime soon. And I was just hoping and praying one day, golly, I don't want to do this no more. I hated it, but I felt compelled. So I will go, but I couldn't figure out. So later on, fast forward, there's a natural disdain for going to, I do not want to go. Because when I'm there, I'm seeing everything. I can drink. I can still see it all. I'm seeing too much in here. I don't want to be in here with these people. So at some point, there was a drive and a passion to quit and stop. I know there's other people that had that drive and that passion to quit and stop, whatever it is that they're doing, that it's like, hey, you know, my guilty pleasure, whatever. Some people grow out of it and some people don't. And that was the wild thing that I had to come to grips with when I started getting up in my 30s. I'm starting to realize that I was like, hey, man, you still have to make the choice to be different and change. It don't just come with your age. So unfortunately, Shannon has not evolved to the point of wanting to really adult. And he comes off as the same fun-loving, charismatic, goofy guy in the locker room. As soon as he leaves, he's turned up, man. He's never not been that. And honestly, that's why his subscribers counts are up. That's why he's so good at what he does, is because he is the life of the party. This guy will never slow down or stop. He doesn't know how. So even if he has to pop a pill, I'm pretty sure, I hope he doesn't have to because he's in the gym enough. But if he got to pop a pill to get it going or whatever, he'll still be in the game 60, running it deep. He don't care. So my thing is some people never change. Shannon's just one of those people that won't. He is the old dude in the club that is sipping on the drink. And it's like, hey, man, I tried to stop. I wanted to stop, but I just realized this is my life. And so Shay Shay, man, he is a interesting character of a human. He is very interesting. And that's what gets him paid. And it's the fact that he's single, Shay Shay, is what makes him so appealing. So will he stop being that? I don't see that. So, hey, man, best of luck to him. But it's not for him. It's not a fit for him. And I don't want to force nothing on this dude. He just needs to just enjoy the game, as ratchet as it is.
Yeah, I agree. I just think that he's been corrupted by environment. His environment just so happened to be,
It don't help.
first he's a pro athlete, and then next he's this huge gym, enthusiast. And it's tough, man. Like, it's probably a combination of multiple things. I just chose to focus on the gym part because I identified directly with that. Like, I really did one day sit down and I said to myself, oh, like, it's a unique thing. Everybody I know has a range, a spectrum in terms of some of the stuff that they think looks good. And I always found myself looking at some of that stuff and saying, you think that looks good? I'm straight. And it was always like, well, why do I feel this way? Where did this come from? And, other than me being on the court or in the weight room all the time, I couldn't really, sort of isolate a variable that could explain that other than that stuff. So I think that has played a role in it for sure with him. I just think that he's been corrupted by environment. No different than, if you're a person, let's say you're a man and you've been a club promoter or you've been a nightclub owner for 30 years, right? Let's say you created a business when you were in your early 30s and it blossomed into this franchise of nightclubs that you own, and you find yourself dating club women. I kind of get it. Like, how do you separate the two? This is a part of this person's identity, so much so that it is inextricably bound to his preferences, and he might not be able to figure out a way out of that. For me, I feel like, because I 100% see myself coming into money within the next 5 years. And there's a big part of me that really is thankful that I'm going to come into money in all likelihood in my 40s, because it means that there are certain aspects of my character and personality that were cemented before the advent of money could come in and cause some of those other aspects of me to be exacerbated.
Correct.
So now that I'm grounded and I know where I stand principally, coming into money isn't going to, throw me off my square. Now I still got my things to overcome, but I really do feel like the money is only going to enable me to secure what I'm looking for faster, because I genuinely do want to get out of here. But I think that there's a part of Shannon Sharpe that actually doesn't. And we've met people like this before. People who romanticize over the notion of their life being a certain kind of way, but they don't actually really want it to be that way. Right. I think for Shannon Sharpe, it's cathartic to talk to people about how he wants to be able to successfully date. But I believe that in his heart of hearts, he doesn't really want to. He doesn't really want to. It's why he's 55 and he's still doing this. Because for that matter, Shannon Sharpe as a 55-year-old, you can find a young, even if you fancy younger women. I personally think Shannon Sharpe likes a particular kind of body type. And I think it just so happens that that body type you most likely find in women who are younger. That's why I think that Shannon Sharpe is with younger women or associated with younger women all the time, personally. But you be that as it may, you can approximate that kind of body type with younger women and get out the game. And yet he's still doing this.
That's what I'm saying.
Which tells me he just doesn't want to stop.
Right.
So, I feel his pain because I personalize it in terms of my experiences being somebody who's always in the gym. So from that standpoint, I hear where he's coming from, because a lot of my identity based upon the way that I look at preferences and women and all of this kind of stuff and dating, I form based upon all the time that I spend in there. So certain ways that I look at things and how I view in shape versus not in shape and how that's such a thing for me, right? It came from all of the hours and days that I spend in that place. It didn't come from, I didn't naturally develop that. That's where it came from, me being in those places all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it kind of correlates to why Shannon Sharpe is dealing with this. But I, like you, tend to believe he doesn't actually want to stop. He just wants to pay lip service to the idea of stopping, because if he really wanted to stop, he could. He can get him a 30, 32-year-old
resources.
He could, yeah. He has the profile. He has the resources. If he's into younger women, you don't got to listen to Monique. You can get a 32-year-old who looks good like that and go ahead and bow out. He ain't even done that. So the fact that he hasn't done it tells me he doesn't really want to. I just think that he finds it interesting to talk about it.
Yeah, it's I ain't see the movie, but what that man said, was it Mitch, when he was like, I just love the game. I just love the hustle. And one thing about Shannon, bro, he just love the game. He'll send a DM, mass, five of these Insta thoughts. And then he'll just turn and look at the camera and just, I love the game. I just love it. Yeah, just the possibility of fluing her in.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And he's all on that. That's his game. He's loving that. He just wished that they were better participant and not so transactional. Give me something. But it's like, hey, bro, the game has changed, bro. At least you know what I'm saying? The sugar daddies back in the day, I'm pretty sure they got a lot more love than the sugar daddies now, because now the game has become completely transactional. Hey, it's transactional in regular everyday relationships. Don't even get me started on the ones where people flying people in. So they don't have to give him any loyalty, any respect. And that's probably why he's just like, damn, I'm loving the game. I'm loving the old, but I don't like how they treat me. And I don't like how they lie, manipulate. Like, what's that about? Sorry, Shannon. This is what happens when you love the game. And so you gotta take what come with it, bro. You know what I'm saying? Oh, hey, man, you ain't getting the superstar calls. The other guy is. Hey, you in the game, right? You love it, right? We'll make it happen without it. You know?
Man.
So, hey, good luck, Mr. Shay Shay. Get out the game, bro. You got the resources. You got everything at your disposal, bro. Get out the game.
Yeah, these guys just can't help themselves. It couldn't be me, man. Because if it was me, now granted, I'm a firm believer in not shitting where you eat. So maybe I'm not going to be trying to get off where I work. But if it were me and I'm at ESPN, I'm hollering at Charlie Arnold. I'm hollering at Molly. I'm hollering at Molly. I'm hollering at it's a fertile ground, and them women work out too. I'm just not gonna go that transactional route like he appears to be, or like Irv Gotti. So I don't know. It couldn't be me. It couldn't be me, man.
Who that person you said before, Molly?
Charlie Arnold. Charlie Arnold. CHARLIE. CHARLY.
Yeah, I ain't know her name.
Yeah, she isn't on ESPN anymore. She left, but she is so bad. And it couldn't have been me, man, because that's where I'm fishing. You can have the sex workers and the ladies of the evening, I'm gonna be getting at that because women like that will at least pay you some respect.
Hey, bro, what
They
you
will.
ain't clamoring for a McNutt? You don't want none of her?
No, I'm good. No.
Hey, and Molly done
I'm
been
straight
ran
on.
through. Stephen A
I'm
done had that already. So I'm pretty sure Shay
Whoa,
Shay done got a
whoa,
date.
whoa, whoa.
Oh, my bad. My bad.
Yeah.
Man.
Give me Kendra Andrews. That's Malika Andrews' sister. Yeah, give me some of that. You know, I mean, I'll take Malika too, but Kendra Andrews, her sister.
Look at this guy.
I'm just saying, man. Like, if you gotta what's that chick who's on college? You see, now I'm gonna go down the rabbit hole. We need to move on.
Yeah, seriously.
But it's one more I want to bring up. She does College Game Day. She took over Jen Latta on College Game Day. Damn it, I'm not gonna think of it. And no, is that her name?
I can't stand Malika Andrews' voice though. That'll just get on my damn nerves.
Bro, Kendra Andrews is where she's at. Kendra Andrews, her sister. She is yes.
And I bet she ain't got a nasty attitude like Malika either.
Even like Andrea Carter, that's another one that be on ESPN. Give me some of that. You know,
man, you never know with Shay, bro.
I know, dog. That's what I'm saying. But we'll go ahead and move on. Shouts out to Club Shay Shay, Shannon Sharpe. Shouts out to Monique, man. I feel your pain, Shannon. I do, man. Good luck. But something tells me you really don't want to stop, brother. You really don't want to stop.
You love the game.
Yeah.
You love the hustle.
Yeah. Yeah, your boy, Patty Mahomes, baby. Patty Mahomes, Kansas City Chiefs, back-to-back Super Bowl winners, Super Bowl champions 2023-24. And, of course, cue up all of the conversation that is trying to project Patrick Mahomes as the greatest quarterback, greatest football player of all time. So that is what we are here to talk about. We'll go ahead and dip our toes in the sports hot take pool here. Yeah, so this story from Bleacher Report, obviously, because the more that this guy wins and succeeds, the more we are going to be talking about him being the greatest player of all time. So this from Bleacher Report says Patrick Mahomes, Tom Brady comparison's tough because Bucks beat Chiefs in Super Bowl. After winning a third Super Bowl and a third Super Bowl MVP against the San Francisco 49ers on Sunday, Patrick Mahomes is certainly garnering comparisons to the legendary Tom Brady. Mahomes knows that Brady will always have something over him, though, as Brady beat Mahomes and the Chiefs in Super Bowl 55 in February of 2021. To me, it's always going to be tough because Brady beat me in the Super Bowl, Mahomes said after the game. That's something he'll always have on my head. Mahomes is using Brady's Super Bowl win over him as motivation, though. He knows if he wants to be in the same conversation as Brady or earn the GOAT status over him, he'll have to continue working hard and racking up rings. But it gives me something to strive for every single day, just chasing greatness, Mahomes said. Whenever I'm tired and I don't want to work, I know that I have to do it in order to be in moments like this. Mahomes certainly put together a GOAT caliber performance on Sunday. He threw for 333 yards and a pair of touchdowns on 34-46 passing, also picking up 66 yards on the ground. So, of course, all of the sports shows are running wild this week with Patrick Mahomes is at the very least the best player ever, if not already the greatest of all time. Obviously, we have our love-hate relationship with Tom Brady. But Tom Brady does have 7 Super Bowls and all of those accolades and the MVPs and the 5 Super Bowl MVPs and all of that kind of stuff. And so I'm interested to hear your thoughts on this ongoing conversation and where we sit in terms of this Mahomes status with regards to him being the greatest player of all time compared to the wonderful, majestic, always perfect, ever present Tom Brady.
The omnipotent. Yeah, he's everywhere, bro.
Yeah.
Hey, listen,
the
man.
omnipotent and the omniscient Tom Brady.
Yeah, man. Listen. I know, bro. The golden child. Hey, one thing about it, if the golden child Tom Brady gets dethroned, I am not mad at that. That's one thing, because I sat there and I don't have my Dolphins gear up here or on me at this time, but I dealt with those shenanigans for almost 2 decades, where the AFC East was, in my opinion, intentionally incompetent. On top of that, they were getting all the favorable calls. I could not stand it. Would Brady come in the clutch in the now he will be clutch. Now he'll make them throws. One thing about it, the referees can't throw the ball for you. So he can make those throws, he can make those reads. But what I witnessed for almost 20 years as being a Dolphin fan and dealing with this asshole is that he gets favorable calls that sway games. They sway them. Now, what difference does that make? It makes a big difference when you're getting home field advantage throughout the playoffs. It's a big difference when they have to create a whole new rule from some garbage that went on. So I sat there and I watched it. So is he good at what he does? Absolutely. You know, but I take away at least 3 of those rings. At least. That's my opinion. And that's being modest. Now, on to Mahomes, who they're trying to make me hate. It's not happening. All right. The Taylor Swift madness is getting close. I was cheering against him. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, but
any other
but
any other context? Yeah, any other context, I would have been clearly cheering for the Chiefs because I like Mahomes. I like what they're doing. But yeah, I was cheering against them this year because I didn't want the shenanigans. But yeah, here we are. Be that as it may, the guy was not. He's had good games all year, but he hasn't been Mahomes this year. I had to look it up right before I got started because I've been playing DFS all football season long, and he hasn't been hitting the 300-yard games like he normally does. So out of the, I don't know how many games they done played this year, 16, 17, whatever, 18. Yeah, that was only his 5th 300-yard game of the season. So he wasn't really doing that. He stepped up and he balled. And so, and he made all the right plays. So I'm not sitting there hating or whatever, but throughout this season, I saw shenanigans. I saw no calls. I saw favorable calls on primetime games dealing with the Chiefs. And they were giving him the same treatment that they used to give. The only reason why I saw these favorable calls is because there's TikTok now and other outlets that show you this garbage. But the only reason why I saw the Tom Brady stuff and maybe not other people is because I'm a Dolphins fan and I was invested in what the Patriots are doing. And it often happened against us at times. So I'm saying all this to say is that he's getting the golden boy treatment. He is the new cash cow. He's the new Jordan. That's what Romo said. He's the Jordan of football. He's a new Jordan of football. And why not? Why not have a superstar? So every era needs a superstar. They've just picked Patrick Mahomes to be the new GOAT. And sports media needs talking points to talk ad nauseum. So what do they got talking about now? Yes, LeBron's about to retire. Now we got Mahomes Brady debates. Let's talk about this Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So this is the shenanigans. It's all hoopla. Is Mahomes awesome? I think he is. And is he on the trajectory to outshadow Tom Brady's career as far as metrics and all those other things are concerned? Yes, he is. So it would be arguable that he would be the best player of all time if he continues on his trajectory. So I'm here for that part of the conversation, but I did witness shenanigans this season, and I would be lying if I said I didn't. And I felt as though they got a nice streamline, a Tom Brady streamline to the Super Bowl this year. But this team was not that good this year. But, they put it together at the right time. Let's say that. So what about you, man? What are your thoughts on Mahomes entering GOAT discussions with football Jesus, Tom Brady?
After 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 the Patriots beat the Seahawks in the Super Bowl that
Oh
year,
my God. bro.
that was when I turned the corner, because it was giving me too much stress to constantly be on the edge of my seat hoping that the Patriots would lose in the Super Bowl. Seriously, it was raising my blood pressure too much. So I
Agreed.
said, you know what? These people keep winning. I am not going to burden myself with the agony of hoping that they lose. Rather, I am going to do a complete 180, and I'm going to actually root not necessarily for the Patriots, because I don't like Belichick and I still don't like that organization, but I'm going to continue to root to see just how much Brady can run it up, because I just got to a point where I just said, you know what, it's cool for me to see just how much this guy can run it up. I had spent years upon years upon years praying to God that these people lose, and they would just win every year. And every time that they would win, I would have to deal with this weird feeling in the pit of my stomach for weeks, because I have to sit around and watch the shows and read the articles and just listen to people lament Tom Brady being the greatest of all time. And it bothered me because at the time I was a huge Peyton Manning fan. So it's like I feel as though with my eyes when I watch Peyton Manning play, he's better than Brady. But I cannot back that up with all the times that the Patriots keep beating the Colts in the playoffs, and Brady kept winning all those Super Bowls. So, at first my breaking point was when they came back from 28. What were they losing, 28-3 against the Falcons in the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
And then they came back and won. I'm like, how the hell do you let that happen? But I was still holding on. But once they beat the Seahawks, when Butler caught that interception in the end zone, and I said, you know what, I'm done. I'm out. I'm done. I'm done with the Brady stuff. I'm not Team Brady. I'm Team Brady. Having said that, Brady would go on to commensurately, accompany the postseason accolades with individual awards, breaking touchdown records and yards and getting regular season MVPs. So at that point, I was like, okay, fine, I give up. And 7 Super Bowls, I just kind of feel like it's a mountain that's going to be difficult for anybody to climb. I think Mahomes can approximate it. And, I'm of the mindset that he doesn't exactly have to get to 7 Super Bowls, because I don't think that that's possible. I don't think that's possible. I think what Brady did will never be duplicated. No, I don't think so. I don't think somebody can win 6 Super Bowls, go to another team, and then win another one. That is so beyond the pale impossible to me. The only way that I can see anybody, let alone Mahomes, matching that is if the team is perfect on drafting and signing free agents and constructing contracts for the duration of his entire career, so that every single year they can put that team in position to be there at the end. And I think even that, as great as that organization appears to be ran, is damn near impossible to do. You're going to get somebody who gets hurt. There's going to be injuries. Somebody's going to leave. You're going to get free agents who go to get a bigger payday. It's hard to sustain that. I really do think that what Brady's career encompasses is something that is damn near impossible to replicate. I just don't see it. So from that standpoint, I don't see Mahomes matching him in rings. But I think if Mahomes continues to do what he does with the counting numbers and can get into the ballpark of Super Bowls, like 4 or 5, it's a conversation that's worth having. But for me, I'm probably going to always give it to Brady, because I just look at it as an amalgamation of 3 factors: how good you are at playing, what your postseason success is, and what your individual accolades are. I think that when you amalgamate that with Brady, he comes out on top. And that's because the 7 Super Bowls is just so far ahead of anybody. But if Mahomes can manage to get himself to 5 rings, because he's going to get more MVPs and passing yards and all of these records and stuff. So if he keeps upping the counting numbers and he can get within the ballpark of the Super Bowls, like I said, around 5, I think he needs 5 personally. But if he can get to the 5 and he's breaking records and getting passing yard numbers and breaking touchdown passing records, and because I think he still has the record, because he had 55 passing touchdowns his rookie year, I think. So I think he still has that. So if he keeps doing that and he gets to 5, because he's going to get Super Bowl MVP every time he wins the Super Bowl. So presumably that would be 5 Super Bowl MVPs. I think it's a conversation worth having, but reluctantly for now, I leave it in Brady's hands. I think it's a hard mountain to overcome. As much as it pains me to say that, because I spent so much of my formative years wanting him to lose until I finally stopped, merely because it was literally giving me too much physical anxiety to always be rooting against him. I got tired of it. So I turned the corner on him. And eventually, towards the end of his career, I really did come to find myself rooting for, like I was rooting for the Bucs when they played the Chiefs in that Super Bowl. I was, honestly, because it was just cool for me to see this guy's going to get to 7. That's impossible. So I think it's worth a conversation if he can get to 5. But short of Patrick Mahomes having those 5 rings, I think it's Brady all day, as much as it pains me to say it.
Man, that's that's wow, you were cheering for him, huh? I mean, my thing was
on the Bucs.
Yeah,
when he was on the
yeah, I guess I was in that boat. I just stopped hating him. I just started appreciating what I was watching, because I was seeing so many bad quarterbacks playing. Like right now, this year, it was horrid. I mean, it was backup. It was backup central. I mean, third strings out there starting, and it was like against each other. This third string playing against that third string guy that should be in the XFL playing against this guy that should be in the CFL. It was disgusting. And so, that slip started to happen while Brady was in his last years. And so, I started appreciating what I was watching from the command of the game, him knowing what to do in situations. It was better to watch, honestly. And I'm not going to hate on the Bucs, like it's a Florida team. So get it, so get out of my face. So, so at that point when he left, I was like, damn, was it the Patriots why I hated him, or was it him? The man, because I'm not bothered by him as much anymore. They're winning, but I'm not bothered by it. It was different. It was weird. But yeah, it was just something about that organization, man. I just could not stand them. I still don't like them.
And the coach. It was all of it. Yeah. And the cheating.
Cheating. It's the cheating and the elitist behavior and the elitist fans. Hey, how's it feel now? Come on, man. I love the New England people, man. But yeah, anyways. So yeah, interesting stuff, man. I would say that he does have the ability to do it. This year was a down year, if you want to be honest. So if he wants to get to 7, he got to steal some. This year was a steal. His team was not up to par at all. The defense got it together, towards the latter part of the season, which made them formidable because their offense wasn't doing what they normally do. And so, but yeah, you can consider this a down year. They beat Christian McCaffrey, Debo. People are going to go running down the list of names on that team. Chase Young, Bosa, Fred Warner. They got monsters on their team. They should have lost handily. And they won with that roster. So this year was a steal, in my opinion. So he needs a couple more, though, to eclipse 7. Or at least tie it.
Yeah.
And so hey, he won in a down year. If they, they're gonna have to replace Kelsey for sure. He was looking like a tight end in his 30s now. Like he was looking slower this year. So they need to get on that. But for the most part, man, if they can shore up that defense like they did, and just stay like animals and do the Tom Brady approach to where I have to elevate my team's play. And now I created this person called Amendola. I created this person called Wes Welker, even though Wes Welker was a beast. All right. But if he didn't go to any other team outside of the Patriots, he would have been practice squad. So Tom Brady and the Patriots wanted that situation, and he kept feeding the beast, and he got good. Edelman, all these dudes. So he's going to have to do this with his Hartmans, his Sky Moores, his Noah Grays. He's going to have to spread it out and do all of this. I mean, my goodness, MVS. My God. I'm not even a Packers fan, but it was a couple games this season. This guy drops 60-yard touchdowns. It's amazing. But I'll tell you what, if they can get more pieces on that roster, add pieces, add to Rice and Pacheco, they can mess around again. So next year, they'll love that three-peat. So we'll see what's going down, man. But I like his chances. He's still young in this curve. If he take it up to Brady's age at 40, he can crack that. We ain't dealing with a LeBron here. Why LeBron got to catch a stray? This kid wants to win, and he was calm. He was ready for the moment, and he performs. So I feel like he got it.
Well, also, yes, not to make this about LeBron, but
I had to throw that in there. My bad, Bron.
not to make it about LeBron, but Mahomes has been to 4 Super Bowls and won 3 of them.
Right, he ain't playing.
And LeBron's been to the finals 12 times and won 4. So the win-loss ratio doesn't favor LeBron.
Nah.
Not to mention all the lucky breaks LeBron got along the way to his wins. So it's not a comparison. Yeah, I mean, I'll definitely be on board with this. Like, I don't think Mahomes has to get to 7. I just think he has to get to 5. Because like I said, I think if he gets to 5 Super Bowls, which automatically by default means he'll have 5 Super Bowl MVPs. If you combine that with what will continue to be him with all of these records and counting numbers and yards and all of the stats and analytics and stuff that's going to favor him, it's definitely a conversation worth having. It don't got to get to 7. It just has to get to 5, but his numbers would just be so superior to Tom Brady's. And then at that point, I think it's definitely a foregone conclusion. But yeah, I agree. The good thing about this is that I don't dislike Patrick Mahomes, which I'm glad about that. Because when Tom Brady was on the Patriots, it literally, like, I had ulcers dealing with that. I mean, literally, as a Miami Heat fan, when we won the championship in 2006, that was a wonderful moment. I'll never forget that. I don't really care about the LeBron titles because I don't like LeBron, so those are whatever. But the 2006 championship, that was a very happy moment for me. But when the Patriots lost in 2007 to the Giants, that is to this day the happiest moment of my life as a sports fan. I have never been happier than when Plexico Burress caught that touchdown pass in the end zone and the Giants won that game. What was it? 17-14 was the final score against the Patriots that year. That's the happiest I've ever been as a sports fan. That is how much pressure I felt rooting against these guys all the time. And I don't really feel that against Mahomes. When the Chiefs win, I'm like, okay, cool. Because I don't really got an issue with Mahomes, and I like the coach. Like, I like Reed.
Right.
I don't really dislike the organization. I really don't.
Right.
The media dick writing is annoying as always. That's always going to be annoying. But I don't really dislike anybody on that team or the coach. And it was the complete opposite for the Patriots. The complete opposite.
Yeah, they were the Dark Lords, and I just couldn't stand those bastards.
They were the Galactic Empire. Yeah, they were. But yeah, man, shouts out to Mahomes, man. Congratulations to the Chiefs and all that good stuff. Here's to you getting to 5, bro. I think once you get to 5, JV Wins will be saying you're the greatest ever. I know that much. You don't got to get to 7.
Same here, bro. Same here, bro.
Yeah. Okay, so check this out. Venus Williams has recently shared some interesting comments about how shocked she is at the dropout rate of sports among women. She can't fathom how it's as prevalent as it is because she would have thought that we would have moved past this point. So this is obviously an interesting topic for this channel because obviously Venus Williams in her own right, very prolific professional athlete, won all of those Grand Slam titles, in professional tennis. Obviously, alongside her sister, they are pretty much synonymous with women's tennis, especially to the newer generation. But she feels some type of way about the fact that girls are quitting sports. So this says Venus Williams shocked about why girls are quitting sports. Venus Williams is stunned. 45% of girls are dropping out of sports over body confidence issues. The iconic 43-year-old tennis player who has amassed 7 Grand Slam singles titles and 14 Grand Slam doubles titles, alongside her sister Serena Williams, as well as 2 Grand Slam mixed titles, added there is no feeling like the one she feels when winning in her game. She said that it has given her confidence in every aspect of her life. I had no idea some of the statistics of girls dropping out of sports. 45% of girls globally, because of body confidence issues, drop out of sports before the age of 14. I didn't think those numbers existed anymore. So hearing that was very sobering. She told people at the Flag Football for Challenge, Dove X Sports legends Venus Williams and Steve Young event in Las Vegas during the Super Bowl weekend. Williams added she wants her fans to know she's on team body confidence. We need women in sports, Williams stressed. I know what sports have done for me, not only for a career, let's not even talk about that, but for feeling confident. When you score a goal, achieve something, put the work in and get there, there's no feeling like it, she said. Williams added that her tennis participation helped her achieve that sort of confidence and belief in herself. It's huge, and I don't think anything teaches that as well as sports, she added. The athlete said maintaining a healthy level of confidence helps you to shift your focus. It's what girls need, she stated. Opening up about her work as a flag football coach in conjunction with Dove, the tennis star said she hopes to inspire those involved with my experience in sports and in life and my story and even my career. I think the language of sport is universal. It's the same language, even if it's a different sport, she said. So she's baffled. 45% of girls drop out of sports by the age of 14. I wasn't aware that that's what the statistic was, but we'll take the article at its word that that is actually true. So she's obviously surprised at that. But what say you? Do you think that that is weird, or do you think it makes sense?
It makes sense. I mean, I would figure that a lot of girls drop out of sports by a certain age due to, just social pressures. But but I didn't think per se just for their bodies, That's the part about it as well. I didn't know that. I just figured either they grew out of it, felt like they wanted to get into more of a, feeling like they're grown and want to get more of a Kardashian kind of lifestyle versus, a gym rat. So I would have figured if somebody said that, 45% of girls drop out of sports, give me a reason why. I would have said that, well, they just grew out of it. They felt like being a woman is something else. I wouldn't have thought it was because of body issues.
Yeah.
So that's the part about it. That's the part about it that's a little, different. So, but like you said, we'll take the article for its word. But, I think with her point about what sports do for people, and I can attest to that because in my critical years of growing up as a human on this planet, I played competitive sports for as long as I can remember. And then when I was old enough to make a choice, because before it was just life, then it's a choice of, hey, you gotta, what I'm saying? Let's go to the court. Let's go to the gym. And ball was life. And, I'm snatching the confidence from other dudes while I'm crossing them up, while I'm hitting the jumper, while I'm snatching a rebound, I'm blocking your shot, I'm stealing the ball. I'm on you, bruh. And that gave me so much confidence in life that I didn't even know until, I was older and I would see people that didn't have sports in their life or didn't have a hobby, key thing, hobby. So for her, for what what Venus is saying here, it's true. Sports does do that for you. It does give you a lot of confidence. If you do play one sport, you kind of played them all, if you will. If you were in your game or in your bag within that sport, you understand their struggle and their plight. So that's completely understandable. And there's a certain edge that you get from beating a person, being on your, you can barely breathe, but you got that last umph in you to take whatever and you won. Like there's a lot in that, but there's also a lot in having a hobby. So do girls need sports? Yes. Which girls need sports? The girls that want to play sports. The girls that are like body disfigurement, give me more bulk. They don't give a damn. You know what I'm saying? They want that chiseled jawline. You know what I'm saying? They want that. You know what I'm saying? Ass is hard as cement. Bring it on. You know what I'm saying? So there's women that want that. Let them play sports. And then there's girls, for whatever reason, grow out of it for whatever reasons. So I still think they're missing whatever they could have been getting from playing a competitive sport, but they can also get that same drive and passion and those types of dig within yourself, study more, work on your craft through something that's like a hobby. I think the one thing that the world is missing right now, all right, especially from our young ladies, I would say, is a hobby. Unfortunately, whether people like it or not, playing video games for dudes are a hobby. It's not really a hobby, but it's a hobby. So dudes do that a lot, and they're good with their time on that. But then there's girls out here that their hobbies are some other stuff. And their hobbies are they don't have any. It's hanging out. It's this and that. It's this and that. It's like that. What do you do? Where do you go to your safe space to go zone out? See, you can do that if you're on the tennis court or the basketball court. Man, stressful times, I had to write a paper that I was procrastinating on. I'll walk outside 2:00 in the morning and just shoot until 2:30. And then I have a clearer head. If people don't have a hobby or anything like that they can go to clear their mind and do all of that stuff, gain confidence from being better at it from when you first started, you'll never grow and learn. And then there's people out there who have arrested development because they never had something to call their own, like a hobby or a sport. So I agree with her. People do need sports for the people who want sports. For the people who don't play sports or are not interested in sports, I still feel as though they need a hobby so they can gain that same confidence that she's talking about in sports. So what are your thoughts on Miss Venus saying that she's shocked that 45% of young ladies are done playing sports at a certain age because of possible body issues or body disfigurement or something?
I can vibe with what you're saying. Yeah, so they say 45% of girls, what was it, by the age of 14 drop out of sports?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think it would have been useful for there to be an even deeper look into whether there are any specific sports that they are talking about, which make up the at least the majority of that 45% that's doing the dropping out. Because this was a flag football game. This was a flag football event, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So I kind of feel like what they're getting at is, I find that hard to believe. That's such a huge number, 45%. Like, it's such a huge number. And like, okay, so are you saying, I mean, I can get it, but 45%, and this is a flag football event. So are we trying to say that girls trying to get into football have body confidence issues and therefore stop playing sports?
I see what you're saying. So you talking about the spectrum?
Yes, because if that's the case, I get it. Like not that I'm saying it's right or wrong. I'm just saying I can understand why girls who like football would have body confidence issues.
For sure.
Because if football is
more than 45%.
Yeah, football is a masculine sport. It's a masculine sport. So if we're talking about like football and hell, even basketball, like, I have a younger sister. She played basketball up until she was like 12 or 13 and she stopped. She stopped. You know what I'm saying? But she didn't. I don't think she had body confidence issues. I just think she stopped playing because I get the sense that she stopped playing because for her, and maybe you can argue that this is socialization, but she felt as though it was taking away from her femininity. So she just stopped playing. She lost interest. She got into other things. So I'm looking into this and I'm saying to myself, okay, this is a flag football event.
Mm-hmm.
And we're learning about girls having body confidence issues with sport, and 45% of them dropping out. Something tells me that this specifically has to do with sports like basketball and football, where you're going to run into stuff like that because those are masculine sports.
They are.
I'm sorry, but of all of the team sports that women participate in, basketball players are by far the most masculine.
Boy, they be out.
It's not even close. It's not even close. It's not even close. It's like
No,
basketball
softball crazy too, bro.
I
Softball
don't know,
crazy.
bro. I don't know. I've seen some softball. Like I'm gonna get to that, but what I'm saying is like women basketball players are here in terms of masculinity. I think whatever second place is way down here. Like if basketball is on a scale of
They're on a
1 to
different
10
tier.
in terms of if on a scale of 1 to 10 in terms of masculinity, basketball is a 10, then the second place sport is probably like a 3. That's how incredibly masculine that's how masculine women basketball is. So I kind of feel like if this is scaled to particular sports and that's what explains that 45% dropout rate, then fine, I understand that. But as a whole, 45% dropping out before the age of 14, there's way too many girls out here playing sports for me to buy that.
All right,
and furthermore, I'm gonna say one more thing. To the point about body confidence issues, because I was going, you brought up softball. I was going to go to softball, and I'm speaking as a man, right?
Yeah.
I mean, give me a volleyball. Give me a volleyball player.
Yeah.
Give me a chick. Give me a chick who plays volleyball. Give me a chick who plays tennis. Give me a chick who runs track.
Yes.
Give me chicks who play softball.
Gymnastics, bro.
Yeah, gymnastics, beach volleyball, all of that. Them women don't got no body confidence issues. They look good. So I'm just not, I don't know if I'm buying body confidence issues unless we're talking about specific sports. You see what I'm saying?
You ever seen a softball catcher though? Hey, you know.
I have, and some of them look good. Some of them are carrying a bit of a wagon. But I've seen a whole softball team come into a gym, and all of them look like stallions.
I agree.
You got some of them that look a little butch. I ain't gonna lie, but for the most part, the chicks who I've seen who play softball, they look good. So my thing is, if we're talking about specific sports, I feel like this is getting at specific sports. Honestly, I really do. Because if we're talking about specific team sports, namely basketball and football, tangentially soccer as well, I get it. Because I would see why those women are having body confidence issues, but that's because those sports are masculine as hell. Those sports are masculine. They are. I'm sorry, but they are. Those sports are inherently masculine. But if we're talking about every other sport that women play, even on a professional level, volleyball, softball, you know what I'm saying? And I include beach volleyball and regular volleyball, softball, tennis, track, gymnastics, all of that. I'm not buying it because them chicks look good as hell to me. They really do. Especially these volleyball players. They tall too. It's just like, give me that all day, every day. Give it to me all day, every day.
Seriously.
I feel like what would have made more sense to me is if they would have said 45% of women drop out of sports by age of 14 because they don't see a lucrative future in it. Because like there's WNBA, but they don't make money. There is no professional football for women, right? There's no Major League Baseball for women. All women really have at the professional level is basketball, and like I said, they don't make money anyway, and international soccer. And so if it's not international soccer or if it's not basketball, where are the professional female athletes who are making money? So maybe if it was a fiscal thing, like we're not seeing a future in it, and so we're going to quit because where's the money? I can get that too. But body confidence, I respect the article because obviously I'm not going to accuse any kind of plagiarism thing going on. So if that's what it is, then that's what it is. I would say, like Venus, that throws me off guard. That surprises me because unless we're talking about specific sports, I would find that hard to that's a hard pill for me to swallow because it's so many women who are involved in sports, and to me, they got wonderful looking bodies. And so, unless we're talking basketball and football, it's hard for me to concede that, although I am not going to discredit the merit of that information.
Nah, I hear that. I would say, what was I gonna say? something just popped in my head.
Even golf, I have seen female golfers who look good,
Oh, that's what
you
I'm saying.
know, and they ain't even training like that, but they still look good. So I don't know. I just don't know where it's getting at unless we're talking about sports that are inherently masculine.
No, that's factual, but I think it's kind of a thing because when I was growing up on my block, bro, everybody played. Both my sisters, the girl down the street, the other girl down the street, we was all out playing. What we playing? Hey, is it tag? Is it football? Is it whatever? Like we all playing. But when certain girls around the block started hitting a certain age, they stopped playing. My sister hit a certain age, stopped playing. Around middle schoolish, right before high school, and they make that choice. And I think so on my block, if you would, it was 100% of girls that played, and it was 100% that stopped playing. So I think those numbers, I don't know where they pulled it from, but I would just say that I would argue that half of the girls that start playing sports when they're young stop playing. Now to say it's for body stuff, I don't like that wordage. They want to be soft women when they grow up. They want to be soft to the touch. They want to be, a certain kind of way, and they don't want to come off masculine. And I don't think that's like body disfigurement or whatever the hell they're trying to get at. I think it's just that they want to grow up and they don't see themselves being an athlete as an adult, like you said, as a career. Like, I'm going to be something else. I'm going to be a wife at the house, or I'm going to be this, or traveling, and I'm not going to be an athlete. So I just think it's like a paradigm thing that young girls grow up with, and they go, hey, look, this was fun when I was younger, but I'm moving on to bigger and better things. And I think they look at sports at times as just a sport and just a game for kids and grow up out of it and be a woman. And then there's some people that just love the sport. Now, I agree with you this, and this is the last thing I say, volleyball, hey, bring it on.
Yes.
That's death by snoo right there, man. You know what I'm saying? That's what it's about. So hell yeah, man. The volleyball players, they crazy.
I'm not going to contend the notion that girls quit. I would contend that it's because of body confidence issues. Like, where is this data being gathered? Are they self-reporting this? Like, where is this coming from? Because man, like, I have been around way too many women who are into sports to believe that 45% drop out because of body. Like, I don't know. It's just me. I don't know that I see that, but I'll take it for what it's worth. I kind of feel like we're dealing with, an effort to keep young girls involved in sports that have been traditionally perceived to be masculine. Because I don't think it's a coincidence that this information was coming out of a football event. It's not like they were at a tennis tournament or at a softball tournament. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, this is hey, go ahead. You nailed it.
I'm just saying, like how long? Like, I've watched World Cup. Well, not World Cup. I think, like I said, I think women's soccer can teeter on masculine too. But like, for real, like, I've watched way too many Australian Opens, French Opens, these tennis tournaments, these women's tennis tournaments, women's college softball, women's college volleyball. I've not heard this rhetoric about body confidence issues.
Never.
So I just don't think it's coincidental that this is an issue now.
I see what you're saying.
And we're hearing it come out of a flag football event. So my thing is, like, if we want to encourage girls to stick with football on account of not wanting to quit over body confidence issues, then fine. But let's do the conversation the justice that it deserves by qualifying that, instead of making it seem like it's all about women in sports, because I don't think I'm buying that. I don't think I'm buying that, because I haven't seen a female, I haven't seen a woman who plays volleyball and I didn't like what I was looking at, or tennis, or track, or gymnastics. Like I said, even golf, softball, all of that. Basketball, yeah. Flag football, probably. Soccer, kinda, yeah.
I'm gonna bang the gavel on this. That was job well done, sir. Hey, order. Hey, case solved. We solved it. So that's it. So, flag football event at Super Bowl, check. Venus Williams, most known celebrity athlete woman, along with her sister ever, as you say, bro, they transcend generations.
Yeah.
Check. Promoting at a football game. So this here looks to be a spot, because this wasn't just in this article. This was replete through the news. This was on various outlets that Venus was shocked that 45% of girls at a flag football game. This is more collusion and a psyop to get girls to want to play football. Sick. Throw the whole article away. Hey, boy, you cracked that, bro. You like Perry Mason around this thing. It is such a stuff.
I'm just saying, let's qualify this. Let's talk about what it really is. You know, you want women to stay more active in masculine sports, and that's fine, whatever. But let's not make it seem like it's I don't know. Remember in college when we learned SPSS, how to run SPSS to crunch statistical data.
Oh my God.
Somebody needs to put women participation in sports overall into SPSS, and then create the standard deviation which separates football and basketball. And then let's see if it's really 45% for real. I want to know, because the information is sports as a whole, but I theorize that it's about sports that we traditionally look at as masculine. I do.
Bro, talk about emotional damage, bro. You just brought back trauma, man. Don't ever say SPSS again. Oh my God. I had the worst flashbacks. Oh, I was killing it though. Once I figured it out, they couldn't stop me.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. Well, that crunch those numbers, man. But in the meantime, shouts out to Venus Williams. You know, good luck with your Dove campaign and keeping girls in sports. But I theorize that it's about certain sports, not all sports. But I don't know. That's just me on that. I don't know that I see it, but it is what it is.
Good call. That was funny. Let's see this one. Barry Bonds.
All right, Barry Bonds. So Barry Bonds received a spotlight as a part of Major League Baseball's acknowledgement of Black History Month. Just acknowledging his career and talking about how impactful he was and all that good stuff, right? Generally positive. People aren't here for it because he's suspected of cheating. They don't like it. They don't think that it is a good look for Major League Baseball to be spotlighting Barry Bonds because of the speculation that is around him cheating, even if it's during Black History Month, and he is nevertheless an influential Black professional athlete. And within the context of sports, we point out Black pro athletes during Black History Month. That's kind of a customary thing. But MLB is getting backlash from the sports consuming community for acknowledging Barry Bonds because of his speculated cheating. So this says, biggest cheater of all time, MLB faces backlash from fans after posting Barry Bonds tribute to celebrate Black History Month. Barry Bonds might be the most polarizing player in Major League Baseball, arguably the most talented player to ever grace the major leagues. Bonds made a name for himself by not only excelling on the field, but also his multiple controversies off the field. The ultra-talented Bonds was one of the most feared hitters in MLB history, yet his connection to the use of performance-enhancing drugs has tainted his legacy. His connection to the steroid scandal, as well as his fiery attitude towards the media and journalists who covered him throughout his career, have kept him out of the Hall of Fame. While some feel that this is the wrong decision by the Hall of Fame voters, there remains a stigma around Barry Bonds and the steroid allegations that have followed him well after his playing days. So we'll just read here some of these tweets. Barry admittedly treated the press like dirt. That is why he's not in the Hall. MLB didn't start testing until 2003 season. Most of his accomplishments occurred before that. 60 to 80% of players were juiced back then. Many of them are in the Hall. Piazza, why not Barry? So that was somebody who actually was coming to Barry Bonds' defense. And this right here is the tweet, or rather this was the post acknowledging Barry Bonds during Black History Month. So this was what MLB put out acknowledging his achievements and his contributions to the game. Though Barry Bonds has not and may never find himself enshrined in the National Baseball Hall of Fame, this did not prevent the MLB from promoting his career on their social media accounts. The MLB decided to highlight the incredible offensive career of Bonds as part of their Black History Month posts, something that did not go unnoticed. So that above tweet, the above post was that's what I showed you. So here are a couple of people here who took issue with it. Put him in the Hall of Fame. Nah, give a long Twitter post during Black History Month. Yep. Confusion. Why is the MLB gaslighting Barry? I'm trying to find. Here we go. So here's biggest cheater of all time, cheater. Here's another one. He cheated, and no one can change my mind on that. He was Cooperstown bound before he began to juice up. Look at his body as a pirate, and then in the year 2000. With that said, he should get a spot in Cooperstown, though his induction ceremony crowd will not be all cheers. So build a separate section in the Baseball Hall of Fame for all those special players. Put him there along with Alex Rodriguez, Sammy Sosa, Mark McGwire, Rafael Palmeiro, Roger Clemens, et cetera. I'm all for that. So people basically are acknowledging that he was a cheater. Some people think that he should go in. Some people think that he shouldn't. Some people that he should go in with like an asterisk. So there's still a lot of hoopla around this guy, and people can't get over his speculated cheating because, again, unlike people like Alex Rodriguez and Rafael Palmeiro and what's that other guy's name? Jose Canseco, Barry Bonds, Mark McGwire, Sammy Sosa. These are people who actually were found out to have been cheating. And Barry Bonds, it is still merely speculation at this point. But he still appears to be a lightning rod nonetheless. So, I mean, do you think that the MLB community is going a bit hard with their zeal anti-Barry Bonds sentiments?
I'm shocked. I'm shocked about that. I was more in favor of the people that were like jeering the MLB for having the audacity to put him on anything. But as that other dude pointed out, that it's the reporters, not the MLB itself. And it's like, I don't know, dude. It's their club. And it was ever since he became, the poster child for this. Yeah, man, his name's been getting dragged through the mud ever since. At the time when I found out, I was disappointed. But, once I was disappointed that he was juicing. But at the same time, there was this debate going around, whether people, there's a lot of power you got to put into those. He had the power to do it. But, locating those pitches. And, baseball is such a different game, bro. And as far as my knowledge, there's cheating going on all around baseball. It's disgusting. They have to implement so many new rules for these pitchers out here, increasing their spin rates with these new ways of getting the ball slick. Everybody's trying to get an advantage in baseball. It's one of the messiest sports out there. So to treat him like a leper, like he gambled on the game, which he didn't. He was just juicing like everybody else. So I don't think they need to build a new compartment, and quarantine them in this special hall over here with video game numbers and the regular humans. Guess what, man? That's ridiculous. And just put Barry in there, let the game slide. And yeah, man, I feel as though the MLB is doing what they do best, much like any other major corporation, but especially these sports ones. When you sign this contract with these people, you also signed over your name and your likeness forever in perpetuity. They can use your image and likeness however they choose, even if they don't even mess with you like that. And so the part about this that I feel is a little backhanded is the fact that, and they don't even have to be Hall of Fame stuff. It's just how they don't even acknowledge the man no more. But you want to bring him up in Black history. So that's the part about it where it's like, I don't like it. It's a little distasteful to me. everybody that falls on the spectrum on their opinion of him, I feel as though they're entitled to it. Those are all coming from reasonable spots. I can't disagree with anybody. For the people that don't like him for juicing, the people that don't care like myself, or the people that are like in the middle. Like this whole argument about juicing in the MLB, to me, is one of the more overblown things going on in all sports because they all did it. So what are your thoughts, man? How do you feel about the MLB posting Barry Bonds for what's that, Black History? And what do you feel about the people, man? Which side of the fence are you falling on this one?
Colin Cowherd talks a lot about how baseball is the one sport where counting numbers are valued more than anything else. Like he talks about, because I don't know too much about baseball. Ironically, as a side note, the first sport that I ever played organized was baseball. Interestingly, before I ever picked up a basketball, baseball is the first sport I ever played in an organized way. But he talks about how the culture of baseball. So each sport professionally of the major sports has a different culture, and that culture largely dictates how we perceive success and failure. So in the NBA, it's ring culture. The more championships you win, the more it validates your greatness. In the NFL, it's like more team oriented type thing. So like the NFL is all about the shield and organizations. It's not about individuals. So we are more likely, unless we're talking about quarterbacks, to look at successful franchises and what those franchises have done and how you fit within the construct of those teams. Baseball is the one where it's all about numbers. So for example, in the NFL, right? If a guy like won one Super Bowl, but he was an all-time great quarterback, no one is going to say that he was like worse than a guy who won more Super Bowls but was not as good of a player. You know, like Warren Moon never won a Super Bowl. Nobody thinks that Trent Dilfer is better than Warren Moon because Warren Moon didn't win a Super Bowl and Trent Dilfer did. Right. But in the NBA, what people will do is validate championships. Robert Ory has 7 NBA titles, so he might be better than, I don't know, Paul Pierce, who only won 1 championship, because in the NBA they count rings like that.
Which is
in baseball, it's pretty much all statistics. So like in baseball, they're validating a player's greatness based upon records broken, home runs, RBIs, and all of this other stuff that, you know, these counting numbers that they accumulate and amass over time in baseball. So the problem that Barry Bonds has is when you are believed to have cheated in the sport that he played, that cheating is directly tied to the one thing that people use to evaluate where you are in terms of how good you were. So that's kind of the uphill battle that he's fighting in terms specifically when it comes to baseball. So, you know, and baseball's weird like that because all they do is just count stuff. They're just counting. Everything is about counting numbers, strikeouts and runs batted in and stolen bases and home runs and whatever else they count in baseball. It's all about counting these numbers and these records and stuff, you know? So he's fighting an uphill battle. I'm like you. I'm in the middle. It doesn't really offend me. I don't like cheating. I don't.
Me either.
Honestly, if I'm being honest, I don't like cheating. I don't like someone being acknowledged for greatness when they enhance something artificially in order to help get them.
My bad, Brian. I ain't never cheat the game. That's what he said. He came out his mouth and said that. I want my damn respect.
Yeah, he did. We want our respect, and I want my respect too. As he won an artificial championship in a bubble.
Oh, I
talking
love it,
that
man.
crap. What derailed me off from LeBron stuff. Yeah. Like I don't like cheating. I don't. But at the same time, if everyone universally agrees that he had a Hall of Fame career prior to the point in which he was speculated to have been cheating, is it so beyond the pale to just count up all of his numbers and accolades and achievements up to that period of time, and then that becomes the official record in terms of his Hall of Fame credentials? Like if we can do that, then just do that for him. You know what I'm saying? So like if it is believed that he had a Hall of Fame career up until the year 2000 or 2001 or whenever, then just count up everything that he did up until the year 2001, and that's the official statement of record for his Hall of Fame credentials, and then just call it a day. And then officially he'll be in rather authentically because the numbers that he is in for will reflect everything he did minus the cheating. I feel like that's a happy medium for everybody, but I feel like baseball is also the one sport where you have the most purists, the most people, the people who are the most idealistic in terms of their way of thinking about stuff. So they have an idealistic way about looking at the Hall of Fame, and it has to be a totality. And they don't want to do segments or asterisks or whatever. It has to be the totality. So if it has to be
basically, Barry Bonds didn't write his own bars. He had a ghostwriter.
Yeah.
He's trying to get into the discussion as one of the best of all time. It's like you can't.
Yeah,
everybody know you had writers.
Yeah, they're just shutting them out entirely, altogether. Like they're just not letting them in. And so if it's all about totality, then yeah, it is what it is, man. Tough sledding. But I say kind of segment it out. It just be, and the only reason why I'm saying this is because baseball is so contingent upon numbers. So because the culture around baseball is so based upon numbers, statistics, metrics, then just accumulate the metrics while he was not juicing, allegedly, and use that as the statement of record for his Hall of Fame credentials, and just let the chips fall where they may. Because then at that point, you might feel some type of way because he's in there, but at least the numbers and the accolades that he's in there for are legit, devoid of cheating. You know what I'm saying? But people can't let it go because baseball is the sport of purists. I feel like baseball is the sport of purists. As far as him being acknowledged during Black History Month, so what? Let him have his spotlight as part of Black History Month. It's not like he doesn't have a place within the confines of professional sports for Black athletes. So I don't see why that's an issue. I just think people use this as an opportunity to lament on his cheating. And I think it's a bit of a redirect because I read through that post. I don't think it was I don't think that was Major League Baseball's way of saying Barry Bonds is deserving of being in the Hall of Fame. I think that the community took it there. When all Major League Baseball was doing was saying, hey, he was a great player and it's Black History Month and he's Black. I feel like that's what Major League Baseball was doing, and everyone else took it and ran with it and brought up all the cheating and all of that other stuff. So I just think that's just people being sour grapes and taking the baton and running with it. He deserves to be mentioned in terms of the context of Black History Month. I'm not affronted by that at all. But when it comes to all of that cheating stuff, stop everything short of when he was alleged to have started cheating, add up those numbers, and evaluate his Hall of Fame worthiness based upon that. That's my say.
Hey, man. Well said, man. That's spot on, man. This is just Twitter chaos. This is just they're here for it. They're waiting for something to drop to turn up. So that's a good call. They just wanted to talk shit, it sounds like. But I still see both sides to the argument. So yeah, I'm pretty much in the middle. I say let the man in the hall though. I want to see him get in.
Yeah, me too, man. Let him get in and just, while he just add up all the numbers while he was a Pirate. If those numbers mean he can get in, no matter what ballot it is, then, put him in there, but baseball's crazy like that. Those people are very avid. You talk about, acolytes in the media, baseball is number one on that list, man. Those people go crazy with those numbers and that Hall of Fame stuff. But good luck, Barry. That head did get pretty big there, bro. But I'm with you. Yeah, I'm with you. I see both sides. I do see both sides, but it wouldn't piss me off if he got in, and it wouldn't piss me off if he didn't. So
same. Same. Sorry, Barry. All right, where we at? Oh,
Lastly, we are going to touch on Swiss Beats' response. This is so funny. So during the Super Bowl, Usher performed during halftime, and he brought out several guests with him during his performance. As you can see there, the wonderful, beautiful Alicia Keys was one of them. Amongst others, Her was out there, Lil Jon, Ludacris, JD showed up, popped up to help with the proceedings. But Troll World got going because of how grabby and close and touchy feely Usher was during their set, between him and Alicia Keys when they did that part performing the Mabu. And obviously, Alicia Keys married to Swiss Beats. The world wants to know how Swiss Beats felt about that. And of course, Swiss Beats, being diplomatic, brushed it off as no big deal. So we thought that this was funny to talk about, and I actually have additional material on this too. But first we'll get into this article real quick. It says Swiss Beats addresses Usher Alicia Keys performance. On February 12th, Swiss Beats hopped on Instagram and addressed the uproar made over Usher and Swiss's wife Alicia Keys getting very close during the performance of their duet Mabu at the 2024 Super Bowl on Sunday night. Y'all talking about the wrong damn thing. Swiss captioned a carousel of photos of Alicia's cameo. Y'all don't see that amazing dress covering the entire stadium. Tonight's performance was nothing but amazing with two amazing giants. Congrats at Usher and my love at Alicia Keys. That song is a classic. We don't do negative vibes on this side. We make history. Go see Giants at Brooklyn Museum. It's open until July. Blessings. So, of course, everybody has to plug their stuff. So he went and plugged their stuff. And that's pretty much the extent of that. So, that sets this up. If you didn't watch the halftime show, there's probably clips of it on the internet. Y'all can go check it out. It did get a bit close at certain points. And this obviously is noteworthy because of Usher's reputation with how he behaves around women who are very publicly with other men.
yeah.
Yes. There's Keke Palmer controversy, as an example of where this stems from. So I have additional material.
Shit.
Yeah, I got additional material here. So our buddies Cameron and Mace talked about this too.
Oh man.
So
What Cam did?
our buddies Cameron and Mace, they touched on this a little bit during their recent episode of It Is What It Is. So I want to play this because it's pretty comical, and then we'll go ahead and talk about how we, see this situation playing out.
I thought the
OJ.
people pay me to tell the truth. I gotta tell the truth. I thought he started kind of
If they
slow.
didn't pay you, would you tell the
Damn.
truth, Mace?
Yeah.
Just as people pay you, do they gotta pay you to tell the truth? If they didn't pay you,
Great question.
would you tell the truth? That's what I want
That's
to know.
a great question, kid. I'm glad you asked that. Well, I'm actually here with a friend of mine. And he brought me here to tell the truth. And what I'm working on, OJ, is to be an unbiased voice on television. So I want to make sure that my views and my commentary is never tampered with or swayed by any partnerships, any branding or anything like that. I want to be a very respectable and trusted voice. So with my take on the Super Bowl performance, I thought it was an amazing performance. But being a guy that performed as well, I thought he started kind of slow. But once I think JD came out and he did whatever he did, JD got it rocking, and then Lil Jon came out and it was just a wrap after that. And Alicia Keys, she did her thing too. I don't know how Swiss felt about that hug at the last part, but it was a great performance.
I'm gonna bring that up. He's aggressive with people's
Yeah.
females, man.
Yeah,
I spoke to Swiss. It's very uncomfortable.
yeah. I
for me
should
to
need
talk
prayer
about.
for real.
Yeah,
I should just
yeah.
go on behind that man'
Yo.
wife. That's his wife, right?
Yeah, and he got a look on his face of deviousness.
He knew it was a performance. So he was like, "We performing."
Yeah, but she had a face like calm down a little bit too. Like Usher got, I don't know what he gets out of this. Usher got a thing for being with
He
people.
got that.
Yeah, man. Like me and Swiss have been doing a little couple things the last couple weeks, and I'm like, I'm mad. Me and Swiss always been cool, but I'm just saying, like, yo, my man joint, like, yo, my nigga,
Right.
calm down, my nigga. And he got the face of time Alicia Keys. I don't even think that was part of the performance. They was dancing. She did a push off, like
Yeah, because he was getting too close. It's like he's dancing, but when they get to the sensual pause, he just goes real aggressive on the nigga wife, yo.
Yeah, like, yo, my nigga.
Yo, bro, 100%, man. Bro is just aggressive. That's a good word.
Oh God, yeah. I feel like Swiss was being diplomatic. You know how these people we've talked about. The music industry, man.
Crazy.
They all try to present the united front. Nobody, at least to the best of their ability, nobody's going to throw anybody else under the bus publicly. I think if Swiss is any husband or man to that woman, I would probably say, why did Usher have to do it like that? I don't think that it's crazy to ask that question. And I think if Swiss had that reaction, I don't necessarily think that he would have been out of bounds. But I think clearly at this point, what we are seeing is that Usher has a track record for this.
Yeah, he's got a track record.
And he doesn't seem to care. He does not seem to care. But in terms of Swiss, I kind of feel like he responded in the only way he could.
Yeah.
Because obviously nowadays men are always under the gun, always having our manhood and our masculinity and our choices questioned. In the court of public opinion, anytime a man speaks up, it's automatically a referendum on his insecurities, right? And so Swiss responded the only way that he could, because if he were to say, not really sure I was feeling that performance a bit too much, here come all of the trolls on the internet who are going to call him out for being an insecure man.
Yeah.
And who are going to call him out for hating on Usher, right? But more than anything else, they're going to call him out for being an insecure man, for being someone who can't handle being with a woman like Alicia Keys, a queen, right? Like, that's what the trolls are going to say. And the controls largely control the flow of the narrative of any particular conversation on the internet. That's why it's such a toxic place to stay. And to Swiss's credit, he doesn't spend a whole lot of time on the internet. Good for him. But I think he responded the only way he could, which is to just be diplomatic. Because if he had said maybe he did like it, for all I know. I don't know him. But what my point overall is, if he did have an issue with it, it's a lose-lose situation, because even if he expresses having an issue with it, it's going to come back to bite him in the ass, because now he's going to look like he's weak merely for expressing a very reasonable way that he looked at that particular performance, because that is the wife and mother of his children.
Yep.
And Usher does that, right? Yeah. Usher does this. So, I don't mind Swiss's response. I don't believe him. I think he did have a raised eyebrow. I don't think it's like, I don't think that he's like, going crazy over it, because I know they solid. I don't think he's going crazy over it. But did he have a raised eyebrow? I'm willing to imagine he did. Yeah. But he can't say it, because then here come the attacks on Swiss's manhood, and that's worse than just being diplomatic and just taking the high road. So,
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I don't think he had much of a choice there. He would have looked in any other context, even if he was just like, yeah, that wasn't cool. He would have been, like you said, perceivably weak to the internet community, and that's his consumption base.
Yeah.
It's just best to just stay on the high road with this one, like as you mentioned. So yeah, I would have done the same. I would have been cussing him out in my head, to be honest. Even though I know it's part of the performance, and my wife is Alicia Keys. Hello, so the world wants to have sex with your woman. So
Yes.
this one guy right here, like, what's the difference, right?
Yeah.
You know, the difference is that he's also an entertainer. You know, could probably steal my girl, but he doesn't want my girl. This is what this guy does. So I would have been going, all right, so you performing with Usher, right? Yeah, we would have had a whole talk. Or you performing with that clown? All right, now if you play some games up there, let him know what time it is. You know, and then I'll be watching, and as it happened, because we all saw it and we all knew it. Oh, everybody did it. I did it. So apparently Mason Cameron did it too. Like, bro, this guy's aggressive. Yeah, he's aggressive. He's gonna get aggressive with your woman, and he don't care. It's part of my show.
Yeah.
It's part of my show. Fuck out of here, Usher. We're hip to your game now. When this Keke Palmer stuff came out initially, everybody was like, "Whoa, woo, woo!" Nah, there's eyeballs over there. Charlamagne called you out, man. You are a domestic terrorist, and this is domestic terrorism. If he didn't have a stronger hold on this situation here, this could have went left, you know, and not in a situation where he loses his wife. It just would have been a messy situation. She handled herself well, as they said. She did a little number of, you know, ha ha ha, you know, pushing him off, and then he did his thing by doubling back on the back end, saying, "Hey, these are great entertainers, two of the best in the business. Why don't you guys?" Hey man, it works. This is good PR, and this is well handled. Maybe something Tyrese should learn. All right, because I'm pretty sure somebody read over that before he submitted it. You know, so yeah, man, wild stuff there. Usher again trolling the world. Did a great job, by the way. It was a good performance, man. So it's our generation. I guess it's our time to be in things. So I was proud to see him out there doing his thing, rocking the stage. And I did get a good chuckle out of this little thing that he pulled there. And I got a greater chuckle out of Mason Cameron. That was funny. I ain't even see it.
Yeah, I love those guys are so funny, man. Oh man, those guys are hilarious. Yeah, I've always been an Usher fan. I've always been, you know, there's that debate, Usher or Chris Brown. I've always been team Usher.
Oh, yeah.
I remember I've been following Usher since his first album in the My Way album, because I think he released a self-titled album before the My Way. But I know the My Way album was his first big time mainstream back in 1997. I've been an Usher fan, you know, but it's becoming clear that Usher pushes the limits when it comes to live performances and the involvement of women in those performances. So it is what it is. I think Swiss did it the best way he could. Even if he had an issue with it, like I said, you know, for him to express an issue with it, it would have been it would have played out as a referendum on his lack of, you know, lack of everything. Lack of control, lack of security, you know, it would have been, you know, Swiss is being insecure, blah, 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 all this other stuff. So you don't need all of that because none of it's true anyway. So best to just kind of, you know, congratulate it and move on, because in a week, no one's going to be talking about it anyway. So who cares? But, you know, Alicia Keys, man, my God, you know, we won't go. Oh, that reminds me. A couple topics ago, I was trying to think of the woman who now is on College Game Day. Her name is Jess Sims. Jess Sims. Jess Sims. So yeah, Shannon Sharpe, you need to, you know, live over there, bro. Jess Sims. Charlie Arnold, you know, get your little Molly Karam in there. You know, I don't care if she been ran through. Go ahead and, you know, stay away from the Insta thoughts or whatever. But I digress. Back to the topic at hand. Yeah, I told you. But back to the topic at hand. Yeah, Alicia Keys is aging like a fine wine. I have always been very fond of her. Congratulations, Swish. You did well, sir. You hit the lottery on that one for sure. Yeah, we'll go ahead and end it on that note, man. Good stuff. Good stuff. Great stream. JV wins. Dogon SS. Conscious approach. As always, leave a comment. Subscribe to the channel, hit that like button, or just give us your view. If you are watching the stream or if you're watching any of the individual videos, we certainly appreciate it. And we also appreciate anybody who does subscribe to the channel to join us along for the ride. Check out Conscious Approach on Instagram, Con Approach, CONAPPROACH. Check me out on Instagram at JVWins, JVWINS. If you're watching this page on Facebook, hit the like button, follow the page, leave a comment there as well. Share this video wherever you happen to be watching it. We certainly appreciate your support as we continue to rock and roll. Thank you to everyone who watches, who tunes in. We couldn't be more grateful for the support as we continue to crank out this logical content.
Yes, sir. And the name is Dogon SS. You can find me on Instagram at Dogon_SS and on YouTube at Dogon_SS. Also on TikTok, all right, Dogon_SS over there as well. And as I say on every pod, guys, all right, don't be too high, don't be too low. Keep it calm, keep it chill, keep it player, and don't let anybody get you off your pivot. So until the next time, guys, I got more rings than Robert Ory. We'll catch y'all on the flip side.
Yes, sir, man. Yeah, shouts out to everybody out there. Until the next video, we will see you later. We are signing off. Peace.
Go
Shouts out to Alicia Keys, man. She's so fine.
Hey, Alicia, we ate. Hey, country.
Yeah, right. She's so fine, dog. Oh my god. Shouts out to Alicia Keys, yo.
I think Ashanti got a beat still.
I don't know. It's tough, man. I don't know. I don't know. We out.
Oh shit, this still good. Hey,
yeah, we still going.
Yeah.